It's impossible to walk into a Walmart looking for one specific item and actually leave the store only carrying that one item that you went in there for. I'm sure everybody is familiar with the end cap displays that jump out and grab your attention and show you things that you didn't even know you needed, but now that you saw it, you have to purchase it and walk out of the store with it. So you always end up leaving with a lot more than you went for. In 2009, I walked into a Walmart. I was looking for golf clubs, and like you all, I left with a lot more than what I went in looking for. I walked out of the store with a career in the United States Marines. My decision to join the Marines didn't exactly start there at that Walmart, but it was built up over about a 5-year span, starting with a phone call back in high school to, at some point, marrying into a Marine Corps family, then finally to this trip to Walmart that was my deciding factor to join the Marines. I'm going to rewind back to my junior year of high school. I'm sure everybody's high school had the career displays or the career days where they had display tables where different companies came in and tried to recruit high school students out of high school. And then there was also military branch display tables where they would try to sign you up for the military. I had one day decided to just put my name on a contact form for the United States Marines. And a few weeks later, I ended up receiving a phone call at my house in the evening, and it was a Marine recruiter. So I had this discussion with him, and he asked me all these qualifying questions like my height and my weight, and could I see without contacts? Would I run into a wall if I didn't have my contacts in? And so in the end, he told me I was qualified. However, I wasn't quite 18 yet, so my parents refused to sign any waivers for me to end up joining because they were not having it. They were not at all wanting their son to join the military. So that kind of got put on hold for a little bit. And so then fast forward to a few years later, I ended up meeting my wife, and you would think that would cause all my interest in joining the military to be put aside, but that's not exactly what happened. My wife's entire family is a military family. She has 2 brothers in the Marines. She has a dad who is in the Navy, and then aunts and uncles who have also been in different military branches. So I was always seeing pictures and hearing stories of the different things they did and the different places they went. And so that kind of kept that interest alive and kept sparking it back. And so I just never really put that interest aside completely. And then also I'm an incredibly competitive person, so I sort of felt like I had something to prove to her family because, as I mentioned, they were all military family. So that just kind of ate at my head for a few years. I continued to work a 40-hour week for a few years, had a kid, and then kind of forgot about it for a little while. Then 2 years later into our marriage, as I mentioned before, I was shopping at Walmart for some golf clubs, and somebody came up behind me and asked me how old I was, and I told him I was 24 at the time, or 23 at the time, and he started talking to me, asked me if I had ever had interest in the military. And I thought it was a bizarre question to be asking in the golf section at Walmart. I told him, yes, I had an interest many years ago, several years ago, because when you're 23 years old, you think that high school was forever ago, so it just felt like that interest was a long time ago. And so he asked me if which branch I had been interested in. I told him the Marines, and his response was, coincidence, I'm a Marine Corps recruiter. And so he started talking to me just for a few minutes there, and he gave me his card. Within a few days after walking out of that Walmart, I was sitting in the guy's office and signing the next 5 years of my life away. So the next 5 years of my life began on that day at that Walmart. It started with that phone call in high school that sparked my interest. grew with a family, being married into a family of Marines, and then finally was fulfilled with that conversation at Walmart in the golf section. So I just want to let everybody know to beware when you walk into Walmart, because you never know what you're going to walk out with. I walked in with looking for something, and when I walked out, I ended up getting the next 5 years of my life, some really good friends that I would never let go of, even to this day, and then a really awesome career, being able to travel all over the country and live in different places.